Noah has been an interesting character, obviously, in the Bible. Noah waited on that ark, waited on God to get him off the ark. That must have been difficult to wait so long. I know what it's like when I am in a personal struggle and when things are going wrong and I'm asking God to answer, and he seems to wait for a long time before he ever answers me. But we must be careful, as the scriptures say, not to lean on our own understanding. Proverbs 3:5, he said, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. That's a great story. That's a great verse. That's a great passage. It's a great truth. It's a great proverb for us to learn. Noah was anxious to get off the boat. He sent out the birds to gather information, but he still waited. You'll be tempted to gather info and act without seeking God if you're not careful. When things start happening and God doesn't seem to move quickly, we want to run ahead of God. And I've been so guilty of that so many times in my life, getting ahead of God, causing things to happen that I thought ought to happen and God wasn't ready for it. We've already seen Noah as a witness, preaching for 120 years. We've seen Noah as a worker building an ark. Now we see Noah as he comes to worship. In chapter 8 and verse 20, in Genesis chapter 8 and verse 20, I love this verse. It says, and Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. He offered animals to God that were a symbol. These animals that he had invested in, taken care of for a year, he and his family may have even come to love these animals, and he sacrificed them for the Lord. This is what they did for the Passover. God wanted the little animal you had to kill to become precious so that you would see the preciousness of his son. He will give the animals, Noah will give the animals completely to the Lord in a sacrifice. That's complete dedication on his part. Noah was giving himself and his family in full commitment to the Lord. It was God who made provision for the sacrifice, and it always is. He had built an altar, but he had built it with every clean beast. You remember what God told him in chapter 7 and verse 2? Of every clean beast, take by sevens. And so he gave instructions so that it would be done the way he wanted it done. You make a major mistake when you do not understand that God is making provision for your offering, for your salvation. It is God doing the work. He provides you with what he wants you to honor him with. God gives us what he wants us to use to honor him with. And so I want you to realize, number one, he gave us Jesus and we're to honor him. But then also all the things I have, God gave them to me, and I'm to honor God with those. I'd like to talk to you about that the next time. I hope you might subscribe to the channel. Give us a like if you think it's worthwhile. Share it with your friends. Thank you so very much for all you're doing.